have said before, when I started out as a flight attendant, there were not very many ways of finding out how to and what to do in aviation and navigate in this world. So this is my way of paying it forward. Information is key, and I believe that if this is something that you are passionate about, please stick around. Please don't hesitate to subscribe, comment, like, drop your questions down below so I can get on that and answer that. And then, because I do tend to, as much as I made some notes, I do tend to forget, some of what I wanted to say and some of the things that people ask me daily. We get into conversations on board and at the coffee shop, or if somebody sees you in your uniform, like, oh, I'm curious about this, and they ask you a question. By the time I get to work, I've forgotten all about that person or that encounter or that question. So if you do have a question that's pressing and you just want to know a little bit more, please stick around and don't hesitate to ask those questions. I am hopefully going to get other flight attendants to join me on this couch. And instead of collecting souvenirs, I love collecting stories, and I'd love to share them with you. So if you are curious to know how to become an international flight attendant, where to start, I am South African, and this is where I started. Welcome aboard. I'm your host, a professional dream car tracer, part-time therapist, full-time safety demonstrator, and someone who mastered the art of smiling through turbulence. Fasten your seatbelt, stow your expectations, and prepare for a journey through the heartwarming, chaotic, and surprisingly human world of cabin crew life. This isn't just about flying. It's about the people, the adventures, the mishaps, and the moments that make this job unlike any other. Sit back, relax, and this is Turbulence and Tea. So the airlines, the international airlines that you'll need to apply to that will accept South Africans are Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, Riyadh Air, Fly Dubai, and Air Arabia. There are possibly more international airlines that are willing to hire South Africans, but these are just some of the few that I have Googled. The requirements for these airlines are 21 years old and older, a valid matric certificate. You need at least 1 year's customer service experience. You need to be able to reach a height of 212 centimeters. So 212 centimeters you need to be able to reach. You need to be a minimum height of 160 centimeters tall. Now, if you are coming in at 157 or 158, you're not exactly 160, that's okay too, as long as you can reach 212. As long as you can reach the 212 benchmark, then you are good to go. Apply anyway. You need to be in good health. You'll have to go through extensive medical and stuff to make sure that you are able to, that your body is able to withstand the pressures of a pressurized cabin. So you need to be in good health, good dental. They'll ask you to send your dental records as well, and they'll check your health as well. Your BMI needs to be within range. Now, for those of you who don't know what a BMI is, it's your body mass index. Now, what this typically is, it's your weight and your height, that these are proportionate. It's within a healthy range. The best way to calculate what your BMI is on Google. Type in BMI calculator. You'll put your age, you'll put your weight, and you'll put your height that you've now taken. You'll put your height into this BMI calculator, and there'll be a dial. It will be green, orange, red, yellow, somewhere in between. And this dial will show you, according to your height and your weight, where your BMI what your BMI is. If it's within the red, then that's unacceptable. Your BMI is not within a healthy range. Anything within the green, within the orange, or these are acceptable BMIs. So a healthy BMI is within the green range, but people tend to have bone structure a little bit different, so that can affect your weight, can affect your height. Muscle mass can affect your weight, can affect your height. So as long as it's within a healthy BMI calculator range, you should be good. If you find that your BMI is not within a healthy range, then you need to work on that. You need to make plans to now cut down, exercise. You can't really get taller if you are over 21. You can't really, that's most likely the height that you'll be. But yeah, like I said before, as long as you feel like you tick all these boxes, you're good to go, eh? But don't let any of these deter you from chasing the thing that you want. Me working at Emirates has changed my life. I collected stories and experiences and things from all around the world, and I have now had food from everywhere and drinks from everywhere, and I've made friends everywhere in the world, and it has enriched my life. And I would recommend this for you. I want this for you. If there is a burning desire to become a flight attendant, I have gotten to see the world. The world is big. The world's your oyster, and there is space for you out there. So go and take up your space. So even if you feel like, oh, there's something I haven't ticked off on the list, I'm not 21 yet, it's all good. Generally, the cutoff age for these airlines is around 40 as well. If you feel that you are over 40, but you look good, you tick everything else, apply anyway. Because I know that there's no black and white rule to a lot of things. We are people, and human beings are complex. If I get into an interview, if you get into an interview with me perhaps, and we have this instant connection and I like you, I'm going to give you a shot anyway because I like you. There was something about you that I liked. So that trumps any, oh, I'm 42, or oh, I am not exactly 160. That connection that you make with the recruiter, it will trump that. How you sell yourself in an interview, it will trump that. If there's something about you that they love, they like, they want you to represent their airline across the world, then this is your chance there. This is your shot. And you sitting at home, don't be thinking, like it might not be for me, I'm not good enough. You might just be I'm a firm believer in, I may not win at Emirates, but I might come right at Qatar. There are other airlines. There's Etihad. I might come right there. I might come right at Riyadh. You feel like you're a little bit older, or you're possibly not going to get in. Riyadh Air is a new airline. This is a new flagship of Saudi Arabia, and they are still building their airline from the ground up. They want mature people as well, because they will need leaders, they will need supervisors, they will need first class crew, they will need business class premium cabin crew members. As much as they'll need economy crew, they'll also need people in other departments. They might be looking for people in the office, they might be looking for people in training. So there's an option still. So if one airline has shut you down, don't close that door and think that you're not good enough. My friends and I, many years ago, we went to a Qatar open day. And back then it was sort of, you just walk in, I think CV in hand. You walk in and you drop off your CV and they start eliminating crew. And then if they like you, you come back the next day. I think it was a 3-day thing. It starts on the Friday. You come in, they see you, you drop off your CV. If you make it through that entire day, they tell you about the company, you make it through that entire day, they start eliminating crew. If you make it to the end, you come back the next day, go through some activities. If they like you, you come back for the final interview. It was something like that back in the day. My friends and I, we were 4 girls. We went to a Qatar open day. Half of us got eliminated on the first day and half of us got eliminated on the second day. Man, I was shattered. My shattered nerves. I was so disappointed. I came home feeling as though I wasn't good enough. Like, this wasn't for me. I was really disappointed in the process. I was like, they didn't really get a chance to get to know me because I didn't really have a chance to speak to anyone. Like, just by looking at me, they sort of eliminated me, and this is not fair. Did they not like my CV? What should I change on my resume? What can I do to be better, to make it? And I was so disappointed, and my dad told me that, what's meant for you will find you. God has a different plan. He's got a different space for you. And as much as you're disappointed now, I promise you the right door is going to open. And I couldn't see that at the time. I was like, no, this was the door. This was the right door. I wanted to be here, and no. And I just couldn't. My focus was just on that closed door, staring at that closed door and criticizing myself on why this wasn't for me, why I didn't get the thing that I wanted. And I ended up forgetting about that airline, and I ended up moving on. I still went into aviation. I still became a flight attendant. I was at the local airline where, I made friends, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with flying at this domestic airline. It was not a job for me. It was just the best airline in the world. That airline went bust today, and they're no longer around. It was called One Time. And the people that I met there, I actually met my now husband at that airline as well, while at that airline. And it was just such an amazing experience. And a Emirates recruiter was on board, and she approached me, and she was like, would you like to try out for Emirates? And I was like, no, thank you, I'm happy. Part of why I immediately said no was I was already scarred by the experience with Qatar. Not getting into Qatar sort of scarred me already. I already felt that I was not good enough for a big airline. This recruiter, she kept on it. She was like, no, we having an open day, and just come, just show up. And I was like, no, it's good, I'm fine, I'm happy. And I was genuinely happy at the airline that I was with. However, the airline that I was with was a domestic airline. We weren't really traveling the world. I slept in my own bed every night. We were not traveling the world. I was not really experiencing hotels. I was experiencing a few hotel stays, but man, I wasn't going to Paris and London and Madrid, and I was not doing none of that. I was going to places in South Africa. I think the furthest that airline went was Zanzibar, Livingston. But the point of this whole rant is, she sat there and she told me, come please, here's my business card, I'd love to see you there tomorrow. I was off that weekend even. This was my last flight for the evening. I brought her into Cape Town. That was my last flight. We're going home. I am from Cape Town. We're going home. And she gets off and she gives the in charge at the time her card. I remember this gentleman, Fritz. He was so amazing. Like, you could absolutely see when this man is embarrassed. You could see when he's uncomfortable. He'd go blood red, and it was just such a joy to be around. It was a really good flight. And I do believe, quick side note, that crew make your flight day. They make your day. Because you encounter so many different people and so many different personalities. And when you gel with the crew and you click with the crew, then this really turns things around. But in any case, she gives a card to Fritz. Fritz is like, to me, we walk into our cars, we're pulling our little cabin bags, and we're on our way to our cars, talking about our weekend plans. And Fritz is like, there's just no way, you should be cancelling all your weekend plans and you should be going here. And I'm like, no, I'm happy, and no, I don't want to, I don't want that, and whatever. And I found so many reasons why I was not good enough for the airline. I was like, no, I am not tall enough. I am this height. I am not tall enough. I'm too young. I've never moved out of my parents' house. Like, I don't know anything about Dubai. Like, I can't pack my bag and go there, and it's so scary, and oh my word, like, I need my friends, and I need more people. I can't go there on my own. Like, anything can happen to me, and I just can't. I won't be able to manage like such a huge aircraft. And the aircrafts that we were flying were tiny, like a one-time aircraft next to a 777 or a 380. It was ridiculous. It was tiny. We were flying MD-80s, McDonnell Douglas. It was small, like, it was tiny. It had a tail cone. It was ridiculous. Next to this huge 777. And that was just like, I was just like, no. I felt like a little fish in a massive pond. Like, I just couldn't see myself there. And a lot of humming and hawing, and they eventually convinced me to go to the open day. And back then you needed to, now as well, you need to create a profile on the online portal, and you'll upload pictures and your resume and all this, put your CV, all that, fill out the relevant documentation, and answer their questions, and then they'll send you an invitation to come to the open day. And I remember going to this open day with my CV in hand. I was wearing a skirt, stockings, shoes, shirt, but with like just a coat. It wasn't a matching suit. It was a mismatched suit, just a coat with a shirt, open collar, skirt, and stockings and things. I didn't even wash my hair for this interview. My hair was in a bun. It was greasy. In a bun. I had my CV in hand. I didn't apply on their portal. I went to the assessment day, and I promise you, I made it through every part. They had different activities throughout the day. I made it through every part. After each activity, they eliminate people, and then you go home, and unfortunately you don't make it. And after each activity, you'd go out, they'll call you back in, and you're in the lobby, and I'd be shocked. I was like, how am I still here? Like, how am I still making it through this day? I'd be looking at girls that were models. Oh my, they were stunning. All girls were tall. In my warped idea of they would be the perfect candidate. Like, oh my word, that girl's perfect. Oh, that girl, oh, she's stunning. Oh my word. Like, the most insecure that I've ever felt was sitting in the lobby and sitting in that room, looking around at the other candidates. This was the most insecure that I've ever been. I was like, oh my word, I felt not worthy of a position that I believed God had already placed on my path. I'm a firm believer in, now you can absolutely believe in, whatever you would like to, and I would never want to put on you anything. But for me, I'm a firm believer that everything that day had aligned so perfectly for her to be on my flight, for her to introduce herself, for her to meet me, for Fritz to be the in charge, for Fritz to be blood red, for Fritz to convince me, you better go to this thing. for me going, and then months later packing my bag and moving to Dubai. Everything had worked out so perfectly, and this was God. God had stepped in and created the space for everything to align the way that it did, and this is favor. So whoever you believe in yourself and your own ability or whatever, great, but believe that you are worthy. Whatever you want in life, this is yours. Claim it. You know, people are like oftentimes saying, oh, you should be manifesting the life that you want. Absolutely manifest the life that you want. But apart from manifesting a life that you want, it's one thing to have sticky notes and say, oh, I am loved, I am this, I deserve this, riches and wealth. And it's one thing to have all that, and to be doing all that. It's another thing to really believe the life that I deserve, the life that I want, where I see myself in the next 5 years, where I see myself in this time or whatever. This is what I am worth. I am worthy of that life, and I'm a firm believer in that. Believe that the things that you want is exactly what you deserve. So let's get back to requirements. You need to be willing to relocate abroad. Oh, you know, before I went off on this whole rant, I wanted to say, while I was at Emirates, while I was during my training, I think I had just finished training, and one of the girlies that worked with me at one time at this other airline, that's no longer there, she worked with me there. She was my senior at this airline, and she had relocated with her entire family to Dubai as well. She brought her entire family. She became a flight attendant with her entire family in Dubai. And if you are thinking that you are too old to shoot your shot, you have a family or you have kids or whatever, now it's just not the right time, it might just be because that lady is still there. She still loves it. She still is appreciative of this life, and she's still there, and they are living their best life, and her kid is growing up to be such an amazing young man. And yeah, he's so grown. They spent most of his life there now, and yeah, and she joined older. I was still quite young when I joined. She joined older. But you may have that connection with a recruiter. You may be doing exactly what a recruiter is looking for. And the thing is, there's no, in my opinion, I don't think there is a black and white script. There's definitely a guideline. Oh, we are looking for this. Oh, we want this. That is definitely there. But like I always say, you get into the room, you may just turn things around. You may not be anything that they have on their list. They might be sitting with their list in front of them and you don't tick any of their boxes. But that recruiter sees something in you, and that recruiter is like, will push you, will be like, no, this girl, I vouch for her, we're taking her, like, I like her. And yeah, they'll push for you. So sometimes it's really not something that you did. Sometimes it's really not something that they're looking for. Sometimes you just don't fit a quota. Other times it is perhaps something that they notice about you when they in the recruitment, during the assessment day. It might be something that they notice that they just don't feel aligns well with the airline. Other times it might just be, a quota that they're trying to fill. So yeah, you need to be willing to relocate,